I have tuned it according to that major scale, like Western music. We call it Bilawal scale. All these scales are natural. This is tuned also like F, C, G, C. Tonic is C, first one is M, F, then lower G, lower C. These are the main four strings on which we play. So it is tuned in F, C, G, C. And then three strings is used in chikari or jhala, to keep the beats. It's also tuned in G, then middle C and upper C. These are the 7 strings and 13 sympathetic strings. In India there are 72 scales. I will play few of them. Like this major scale. Another kafi. Where the third and seventh note is black note. Kalyan, the fourth note is sharp note. Now only the seventh note is flat note, khamaj. Now the sixth note is flat note, is called Ashavori scale. Sixth and third is flat note. Now only the second and sixth is flat note. Morning scale, Bhairo. One evening scale, Purvi, with second and sixth flat, but the fourth is sharp. Like that we have got 72 scales. Now one very important thing is that modulation is not allowed in Indian music. Tonic is fixed, you cannot change it. So tonic or sa is fixed, and then all these scales are there, 72. We have got morning rag, afternoon rag, late afternoon, evening, night, and dawn. Also seasonal ragas like rainy season, spring, autumn. And all these ragas have got certain mood which you will have to develop when you play particular rag. So, although Indian music is about 90% improvisations, but these improvisations are done under very, very strict rule and discipline. It is not that you just take a particular rag or scale and go on improvising on it. Because each raga has fixed ascending and descending notes. There are like pentatonic scale, 5 notes rag, 6 notes rag, or maybe ascending 5, descending 6, or maybe ascending 5, descending 7, like that. But improvisations are done very, very strictly, and you have to follow the rules. Like maybe in a rag, the third note may be very, very important. So while you develop the rag, you have to focus the third note in different way. Like how you handle the notes, that's also very, very important. Each raga has got different way of handling notes. Suppose when you focus on the third note, the next important note may be the 5th one, 6th one, or 7th one, but you'll have to handle it very, very carefully, because maybe the same notes are used in other ragas also, but according to the notes and handling of the notes, you can distinguish it from other ragas. Like, I can give you one example. There is one scale, it's called Marwa. Marwa scale is one Marwa scale. Now, in this Marwa scale, there are 3 ragas, the same ascending descending notes, like three evening ragas. One is called Puriya, other is called Marwa, other is called Sohini. In these 3 ragas, all these notes are used, these 6 notes. But only an artist and good musician can handle this note in different way that it differs from the other one. First difference is, like Puriya, each raga has got different mood. We call it rasa. There are 9 rasas, like joy, melancholy, sadness, romantic, like that. So, like in this first raga, Puriya, with these same notes, this note is very important. And this note expresses peace. The mood of the rag is peace. So when we handle the rag, also we will have to be very careful, and we focus mostly on ga, so that it expresses its full mood and the structure. So we mostly focus on this. Focus means we develop this note maximum than other notes. This note is very, very weak, so we try to avoid. Also, you cannot avoid fully, but you will have to avoid carefully, because the next raga, this note is very important. Ascending, descending are same. But in that same Marwa, this note is very important. So when you develop the rag, step by step, we focus on this note. Very good. So the first raga expresses peace, the second raga expresses sadness. Third raga, Sohini, mood is romantic or Sringar. The same notes are used. develop this note, seventh note. So, when we improvise, we have to be very careful according to notes, the way we handle it, so that the other raga must not come in. We will have to avoid that raga. So, we will have to be very, very careful when you improvise. Now, the second thing is that in Indian music there are certain notes, 4 komal notes or flat note, 1 sharp note. Altogether 12 notes. And in these 12 notes, 22 microtones are floating in between notes. So each raga has got different microtones. That you will have to concentrate, then only you can hear it very carefully. Otherwise not. And each raga has got different microtones, which floats in between notes. Like from do, re, this next note, da, la. In this note there are 4 microtones. The division, this 22, is like 4, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2. This way these 22 microtones have been divided underneath this 12 tone. So I'll show you some. Now, list this. You try to hear this note. Now, there is one rag. Even in Marwa also, like that evening rag just now I played, in that. So in this rag, this second note is used this way. This is microtones. Do you hear little difference? Actually is but in Marwa, this note is used. Same notes are used in other art. We call it komal re. I mean the second is flat note, komal re. But in microtones, these microtones are divided in the 2nd century during the time of Bharata, Natya Shastra. A very old book, it has been divided very clearly and most scientifically that it is said there cannot be 23. Of course, I know some Western musicians, they are trying and research is going on these microtones. They said there can be 26. But they said that it cannot, because human ear cannot hear more than this 22. According to the Bharata 2nd century research. So this some people, they are trying to increase the number, but I don't know how far it will be possible. Because the moment between sa and next note, there are four. The moment you come to the fifth, it will be the next note. So, and you can try, but human ear cannot distinguish one from the other. But Indian music, if you hear several ragas, you will see all these divisions of shrutis are absolutely measured and absolutely clearly said where it should be. Each raga has got different. I will play another rag, this evening rag. This is in Kalyan, but ascending is like. The seventh note is very high towards sa. But actual note is but in Bihar harmony or counterpart is not there in Indian music. But this harmonization, this setting of important note and next important note, I think this harmonize. Like, according to the Indian theory, the first scale discovered was the kafi, or like, one of your minor scales. This is considered the first scale discovered, and it is all on, they did it by fourth intervals, like every fourth, fourth note. Again, all these fourth notes interval, third notes interval, third interval, fourth interval. So in this way, all the notes and shrutis have been placed. So if you hear, you will have to train your ear a little, whether you can hear the notes, the shruti. There is another rag, night rag, called Darbai Gana. It has got like second, sixth, seventh notes are, little towards before. I mean, not exactly note, not note, the same note, like this flat note. But in Darbai Gana it will be played, it floats in between notes. There is one ornamentation in Indian music, it is called gamak, but it differs from vibrato of Western music. And another point is that shaking is not allowed in Indian music. Like it is strictly forbidden. Whereas we have got this sort of, we call it kind of gamak, but like that. Also in fast passages we have got this gamak, there are different type of ornaments like in the fast passage. It's another type of gamak, but this is called andalan. It's another type of ornamentation. According to different rag, different mood, so the handling of notes are also done accordingly. Some notes are very softly you have to do, some very strong point, some has got, we call it is nas, that means the resting point. When we improve it, you can, there is particular, it is fixed note that you can, you move around and you come and rest on that note. Or vadi note, we call it. So each raga has got different mood, different way of handling notes, different shrutis. So when we hear a rag particular, each rag, you have to, and you will hear, if you concentrate, you can hear, how the notes are handled carefully. This is very, very important and things in Indian music, rag. Now, before I say the next step, what we play on the stage, first portion is called alap. Alap has got 18 parts. Just to complete a alap of a rag, it takes at least 2.5 hours to 3 hours to complete all the departments of the rag. That is only the first portion. That is called the alap. It has got 18 parts. Then, after completing the 18 parts, then we play a fixed composition, which is called gat. It may be set to different from 3 to 100 beats. There are different type of rhythmic structures, or tala we call it. That composition is set to some of the talas or rhythmic structures. Starting from 3, 4, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 8.5, 9, 10.5. Like that, it's a very, very complicated and lot of things. He will show you some of the, these rhythmic structures. So after alap, it has got no rhythm in the beginning. It is plays, very, very slow. And this is considered as the most difficult portion of Indian music. Because in these through notes you express something. Music is not only the notes. Through notes, you express something, your ideas. So sometimes it's very, very difficult how you express it. So that is why it is said, according to the Indian tradition, no musician can tell that today I will play nicely. Because it is such a thing, such finer things, finer elements of your mind, that as your mind, every moment it is changing. So you cannot concentrate and say, no, I have hold my minds in particular one point, just like that. No, it's not possible. That is why, this meditation is very required, important. So to focus, you gather together your mind and focus on particular one rag, the mood. It takes little time. Sometimes it happens, sometimes not. That is why When it doesn't happen, that means that performance is unsuccessful. That means you could not bring out the mood of the rag. And when you are actually successful, that means you have been able to to concentrate more, and you have control on your mind a little bit to concentrate. So it's very hard to control your mind. That is one of the reasons tuning of instruments, sitar with tantra, it takes such a long time. It is not only that you are tuning the strings, but you are tuning the strings of one instrument with the strings of your heart. So you establish the identity. Once it is established, then only you can really very much in tune and very much in the mood of the rag. Like, the sunset you see every day, but every day it is different. Why it is different? Same sun and same thing is happening in the setting in the west, but why it is different? Your mind is different. But the moment, if you can establish some sort of identity with the beauty of sunset and yourself, then you successful. Really you can enjoy the beauty. Otherwise you just, it's a very beautiful color, and you just take your own way. You won't be able to enjoy the beauty. So it takes time to establish some sort of identity. Until unless you are able to establish that, you won't be able to enjoy the real beauty. The same thing happens with Indian ragas also. Until unless you can establish that identity with the strings of instruments and the strings of yourself, then you become one. Then you are successful. And also I would like to say a few words little bit about Indian philosophy, because that is very important. Indian music is very, very much connected with Indian philosophy. That is why this alap portion has got little sadness in it. Because according to the Indian philosophy, and you know the history also, this Indian music has been used for self-realization. All the great saint musicians of India, they thought it's a medium to achieve or to reach the supreme truth, or you can say God or whatever. It's a very big subject, But the main point is that it is believed that ultimate aim of human being is to realize the supreme truth. What for is this creation? Why a flower is so beautiful? Why the rose is so beautiful colored and this fragrance? Why? And what for it has been created? If you think deeply, then gradually you will try to search, and everybody is searching. I don't know who has got, but everybody is trying for it. So according to the Indian philosophy, that ultimate aim of human being is to know the supreme truth. So there is always a cry of the soul for the supreme soul. As in Vedanta philosophy, it is said that each soul is potentially divine. Each soul is a part of the supreme soul. So naturally, as you have come from that supreme soul, so the ultimate aim is also to meet and reach there and to unite with that supreme soul. So there is always a cry of the soul for the supreme soul. So that is the basis of Indian music. So in the beginning portion, the rag, when you play alap, that sadness is nothing, but it's a sort of cry of the soul for the supreme soul. That is the source and basis of Indian music. Now, again come back to the practical side. After the alap, we play fixed composition called gat. And when we play on gat, we improvise. Also there is a system and rules. While I improvise, the drummer, he keeps the beat. When drummer improvises, instrumentalist keep the beat. It goes for some time. Then we both play a phrase. Both have to guess because it is not fixed or written. But you will have to guess each other in which line you will go. Of course, it should be within that circle of rhythmic cycle, because in India sometimes people they count the beats. Suppose I am playing a 7-beat style, they will count it. The moment one is lost one beat, they will just stand and say, "No, you are mistaken one beat. Be careful." So one has to be very, very careful about the beat. And when you improvise, so both we will have to guess each other, understand each other's psychology, that which way we go, and we'll have to do. But we'll have to come back on the first beat, or we call it song. This is the second phrase. Then third phrase, sometimes we go to jhala, that is very fast piece, or we play some fast compositions, and then we go to the jhala. Jhala is the last piece. When we mostly play like this way, and it ends in tremendous speed. And the last portion, just before end, there is a phrase called sawal jawab, that means called question answer. It should be on the beat and within that circle, but a lot of fraction and division goes in this thing. And I will play something and we'll have to answer it. So now I will play one fixed composition. Let's take 11 beats. It's divided by 4 plus 4 plus 1.5 plus 1.5. Now, and first I will start the composition. Then he will first start. We call he will take the fixed things. Then he will improvise on it. Then when he will give the beat, then I will improvise. Now. When I was keeping beat, he was actually improvising. It's nothing fixed, but you have to be very careful. He's counting the beats inside. It goes automatically, and he's improvising. question. There are different rhythms, different style, and you'll have to improvise while you are careful about the melody, because you cannot do any sort of mistake about the rag, because you are concentrating, you are counting beats and concentrating more on this rhythm structure, but you cannot neglect the melody also. Both will go together. You are improvising on both the things, so you have to concentrate a lot, for both the things. I think that's all. Now, and any question answered? And any questions here? Yes?
Do you have the sympathetic strings in the same tuning all the time?
No.
It differs from rag to rag.
Yes, time to time. When we change the raga immediately, that is why, it's a very boring thing for the listeners sometimes. To tune up all the strings. The moment we change, naturally we will have to again, retune it, all the 13 strings. Each time, after each rag, we'll have to tune it. Yes.
I have a set of tabla, and I was wondering if you look at them. My little boy broke the head on it.
Now, our tabla, actually, this tabla is made of wood and metal, and this, the skin straps is made of goat skin, and in the top, the black portion, that's the secret. Only the manufacturer they know. It's a paste, made from rice and some, dust, iron dust. But what is the recipe? Is the calculation. Formula we don't know.
You don't have any extra heads with you.
If you need any sort of, Indian instruments or any things, the best place will be in California. There is one Ali Akbar School of Music.
Can you give me that head? Yes. I could send and they would give me a head. I could buy.
Yes, if you send them the exact measurement, so they can
height and
yes, they have got extra heads. They send it.
Okay, yeah, maybe I could get that.
Yes. Yes.
When you teach a student to tune sitar, how does the student know when the instrument is in tune?
That is a very difficult question.
What do you tell the student to go
First,
by?
it's
What do
better,
they go by?
first suppose you strike on piano the exact rate. Then you tune the second string first, because that's the tonic.
But in India, do you tune the sitar to other instruments, or do you tune it?
No, yes.
How does it go?
Generally, like between C, sitar, this is the sitar scale. Not always it is exactly the C or exactly C sharp. It may differ little, but generally sitar is tuned accordingly. That is the scale. But if you try, you can do very easy thing.
No, but we have tuning boxes there also, sometimes.
But all these
But
places.
we don't use that generally, but
Right.
sometimes we have it.
Right.
For example, if you wanted to tune a fourth or fifth, how does the student know when he's just beginning, when it's exactly right, when the relationship between the two notes is
So
exactly
it's
right?
better to take help of piano or in India harmonium or petty box and things. Now suppose I use the tuning fork with me all the time. Sometimes to tune up exactly, So with the help of this, it's better to take the help of piano. Like FCGC, the first F, then C, G, C.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I understand what he's driving at. Once you've established, your basic pitch, that you're the sa, how do you find, how are the relationships of the other diatonic notes? In other words, are they completely, if you really tune to a piano, wouldn't it be out of tune?
That's very, very important question. You know, the chromatic scale, sometimes Western music is little out of tune in our ear. Sometimes. Because of equal intervals. I know, I have studied little Western music. I can understand from Western point of view it is required, during the time of Bach, they did it because modulation and other things, the change of the tonic. But in Indian music, sometimes this chromatic scale, sometimes is little out of tune. So, but of course, in the beginning, when we teach a student, then these microtones, it is not taught. Because unless your ear is properly trained, so we don't talk about these microtones and other things. Otherwise, it's very confusing for them. So in the beginning, it's really important because in India, that we call it harmonium. That is the miniature form, like organ. So you pump like this, from your one hand and you play. The reeds are exactly the same like piano or organ. So with the help of organ, you know the notes and you practice. So after some time, long years of practice, maybe 7, 8, 10 years of practice, then we gradually introduce these microtones. Yes?
One other question that goes along with that. The lighter forms of music in India, other things other than the classical music, do they use the microtones or do they just use the various?
No, it's not for them. It's purely classical.
What I'd like to ask is, do you have like some wind instruments, or what kind of wind instruments that would probably play along with an ensemble like this?
Wind instrument,
Right.
like flute,
Yeah,
Shehnai.
Trumpet,
Shehnai.
any, what would be some of the prominent wind instruments that could play in an ensemble like this?
they can play like this, it's possible. There are some good musicians in India, they play exactly like this, all these ragas with microtones.
But you don't combine strings and wind instruments.
Pardon?
You do not combine
No.
string instruments.
But sometimes we both play, like sitar with Shehnai,
Yeah.
string instrument with wind instruments. They play sometimes duet. It's nice, sometimes like sitar, it's like sitar guitar, the short note with long note. It's nice.
Is it usually though just the combination of three?
Combination of
Is
three
that
means
typical?
with drone instrument? Yes, that is very important, this instrument. For the player it's like punishment, for because, the player who plays actually can't hear anything. The moment he or she wants to hear this thing, naturally hand stops. So it's very disturbing for us. It helps, it's very helping for us. It helps to concentrate actually. And we tune, it's a drawn instrument. First two strings are mostly tuned on very important note like G, like the F, according to the structure of the rag, and other strings are tuned in Sa. So actually it gives all this help to concentrate. It's very important, but Tantura player is very bored.
I don't think
Well,
so.
when you have a performance in India, is the audience very critical about microphones and different they are. I mean, you can't cheat them out. How would they react to wrong microphone and things like that?
Sometimes, a lot of criticism is there, and immediately, from a playing, a person, any musicians or listeners, they can find out that he is not a very good musician. He is not a top class. He is very mediocre. Sometimes hopeless, useless. So one has to be very, very careful. And the thing is that, cheating in the program is that because from your very childhood you have been trained and practiced, so it's difficult to go out of it.
Like, when you're playing throughout a program and you were saying how the different rags have different moods, like joy and melancholy, like, how do you handle the shift between the different moods to, like, I'm going to be sincere to them?
No, when we first start a raga, we try to concentrate on this point. Like, these certain notes, like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, like la, 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 this is sa, is infinite. Re, sorrows. Da, peace. Ma, romantic. Pa, joy. Da, heroic or disgusting. Encouraging. These are the seven rasas. So, the moment when we learn a rag, naturally the teacher will tell you that this note is very important, this is second important, this is weak note. You must avoid this note. So everything, before they start a raga, it is all known and it's all taught clearly. So moment, one note is very important, you come to know that this is this mood of rag. So when you start a rag, before that, you must concentrate on particular that mood and that rag. And then, nobody can say how it will come. Like, you like picture, you can, once you start with a line, then how it will blossom, that is very difficult to say. The same thing happens to us. We start a raga, we know the rag, we know the ascending, descending notes, we know the discipline, we know the rules and regulation. But after we don't know how it will come out. So a lot of concentration is required in the beginning. But before you start the rag, you need some concentration, really, to concentrate more on the mood of the rag. And then we can, sometimes we can't concentrate. Sometimes we have got some headache. So how you cannot concentrate, your mind is very much scattered. So you know that day your performance will not be a success.
Next speaker.
Most of the music is in a concert form. Are there other affairs that you play for us, such as religious affairs, weddings?
Yes. First I told, Indian music started for self-realization. It's not a festival music. No. But in India there are many, many types of music. Many types. Different forms of music. Wedding, yes. Mostly it's all folk type of music. To welcome rain, to welcome crops, All different type of things are there. A different style of singing are there, different forms of music. Like even like classical, like their Dhruvapad, that's the first, next Khyal, Thumri, Tappa, Tarana. It's pure form of classical music, but different style of singing. Then we have got bhajans, or devotional songs, composed by great, saint musicians. wordings are very much, it creates some sort of devotion in you. That's called bhajan. It's mostly, it's a kind of offerings for particular God.
So you would, the form of music that you play, you would classify as what?
Classified.
Would it be, you say different forms of music with
Yes,
different
yes.
things. So what, the type of music that you play, how would you classify it?
Classified in the first, the raga music. Rag, yes, that's purest form of classical music. That, slightest deviation, not bit or when you play, when you say I'm singing or I'm playing this rag, immediately the people know it's purest form of classical music. Thumri is very nice. That's another reason. There is an eternal love story of Radha and Krishna. It's very famous in India. It's the eternal love story. And this Thumri is based on mostly about that love story. So, in the form, if I say that I'm playing Thumri, then immediately people will know Raga is secondary. Yeah. But how you develop this romantic mood, that's most important. Like, I can tell you, come here. How many ways you can say this word? Come here. Come here. Come here, request, order, command, angry, anger. One simple thing you can tell in different way. So, the wordings of simple things, how many ways you can tell, how many ways you can express. That is very, very important about Thumri. So when you say you are playing or singing Thumri, the people will know that's very romantic things. When I say Tappa, people will know what is the characteristic of Tappa. I will sing bhajan, but the musicians, they must announce before that what he or she is singing or playing. Immediately the people know. Like Chaiti, in the month of summer, after spring. Kajri. Kajri is also, it's a separation, longings for the beloved. The moment I will say that I am playing some Kajri, Kajri means in Indian women, they use some sort of black lines, in their eyes. When you cry, these black lines are actually like form of tears is come down and resting on your cheeks. It's a very delicate point. So it's called Kajri, from Kajra. Kajra, that is the black line in your eyes. Actually crying for the beloved.
That is eyeliner in this.
Eyeliner. We don't know. Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering, could you give us maybe a little example of some difference between, or speak about it, northern music in the northern area and the complete southern area?
Oh, that is very difficult.
Yeah,
Now, the thing is that I can play, show you little, but may not be correct. The South and North are two completely different type of classical music. Classical music, pure classical music, but two completely different form.
yeah.
Like I will play one rag. It's one of your minor scales called Kirbani. It's a South Indian rag.
So, yeah.
Kirbani, the scale is South Indian rag. The way of, expression is little different. Raga is same, but in North Indian style, they will start with alap, like slow.
Could you do the?
Yes, North Indian style, like if you play this one. The notes should be very pure and straight, very slow.
I can do that. One other kind of personal question, sure. In the 1960s, I don't know whether you were familiar with any American jazz musicians, but John Coltrane and Eric Dolphy.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, very much into Indian music, and in fact, I used to go with India and so forth and talk to Ravi Shankar. Now this is not a technical question, but as someone from out of this culture and American jazz musicians borrowing, say, from the music of India, in fact, there was one tune that I remember, India, that was what they call on the album. How did you feel about that? I mean, I would like to know honestly, did you think they bastardized it, or what did you feel about it? No?
I have many jazz musicians come to me to learn, many pop musicians, George Harrison, they come to know something about Indian music. I know, just like I think musicians, not from any country, not from any particular place, music is their religion and music is everything to them. So, to know and to exchange ideas, I am always ready, I always discuss with Western musicians, I am always ready to take anything from them. Just by this way, nothing can be enriched. Nothing can be enriched. It will be stagnant water, there should be always sort of flow, some sort of. Then it can be nice and pure and very nice. So it's very important. I have many friends, jazz musicians.
But John and Eric, are you familiar with anything that they did that used it?
Yeah.
Okay, did you feel that this is weird, but did you feel that they captured the true?
Yes, many things. Many things.
I
I can play one jazz, these two. Not jazz music. But this sort of rhythmic structure there, I think, I don't know, it was something, rainy season raga, rainy season music, something like, that. It's a 14-bit cycle of called Dhama. Four, five, six, and very fast.
say something about the training of musicians in India, in terms of the old system of a musician training with a master musician and then present day method of teaching.
Yeah. You know, Indian civilization culture is very, very old. So this system is called Gurukul system. Very, very young age, maybe 6, 7 years, they pick up boy, teacher in the family and one of the family members. And in return, he will never accept a single cent, anything from his student. On the other hand, he will provide him food, clothes, everything will be provided by the teacher. And you have to follow in the teacher's house. Suppose we used to practice 14 hours a day in the teacher's house. And teacher will tell me, you better you die, then I will be relieved. But so long you are alive, you will have to fulfill these 14 hours a day. There is no other alternative. He will sit with a stick and come up.
Teacher sit there for 14 hours?
Oh, and actually this time, actually the training period, that's very, very important. When actually your teacher molds you. I mean, like we are very young, so he will mold you and according to your line of thinking, your constitution, everything, he understands. Like a medical doctor, he understands the patients, his psychology and everything. So the teacher also knows his line of thinking, so he molds him accordingly. And he will show you the way in which you should go. So,
Or really having national that really teach the old tradition.
no.
Still not.
Not now, it has come to the universities. The quantity is very big now, but what quality is there?
Yeah.
That is what we think. Even, I had a long talk with Mr. Yudi Menuhin, that violinist. He also, he had been to India, many times. He also liked this Gurukul system. He said, I think that is the best way to teach a person. But nowadays, because of economic, nothing else, all the teachers, poor musicians now, they cannot afford to keep students. But I also think that is very nice way. When I'm not a teacher, I don't consider myself good. I'm just trying to play good music, that's all. But when I will be old, like 60 years old, I have also in mind, I will follow this tradition. I will pick up some boys, maybe one, maximum 2, not more than 2. And, kept. Yes.
Yeah, I would like to know on which basis you pick up the students, in terms of psychology and musicality.
No, just simple things. There must be a healthy boy. Because 14 hours of practice,
So you don't check him first and test him how his musical, well, the ability for hearing certain.
No, but
Yeah.
Are young girls given this opportunity?
oh yes. There are some girls in my teacher's house. But girls, after some, in India, the early marriage is there. Their parents say, no, you must come and get married. Stay for long like that.
I am the exceptional who has left the family and come here.
Nowadays it is changing.
How about the schools of music? Are they producing the same sort of musicians that
No, that is, we are lacking very much nowadays. Really good musician. Suppose when I was in my teacher, actually I was around 14 years of age, I used to cry, I used to write to my father, oh, please come and take me home. Because I cannot stay, it's too much for me. But now I understand, how sincere was my teacher. He used to love us so much. But outside he's very strict man, but inside extremely soft. Outside, at 4, this is the time whether it is winter or summer, 120 is the temperature, and no electricity, nothing. It's a village, Maiha, where he was a court musician and we were trained. At 4 o'clock, at the dot, dong, dong, immediately, practice will start. Some sort of exercise. All these are permits and commissions. Immediately, the moment it is not started, immediately will come with a stick and stop. Don't you know that it's 4 o'clock? Straight. No excuse, never. I am not feeling well. You die. You die. Simply die. At 4 o'clock, I was sound.
Would you comment on the length of time before you
Length of,
the length of time that you go through this training before you actually go out?
Minimum 5 years. This training period is very, very rigorous. After that, I think it's a very good system. Sometimes, when you are at you have got your own room, so sometimes you just come and you make noise, but you don't practice. Sometimes, just tired of this practice. He will come and he will hear, what you are doing. So that's the thing, the constant guidance. That's very, very important. He will come and, from outside, he will hear what you are doing. And sometimes what you should do, I actually not practicing. But now, really, at this age now I can find, so much love and sincerity was there. Otherwise, actually, who cares, If I don't practice, okay, if you don't practice, don't do. It's up to you. But system is that once you are picked up by your teacher, by any way, he will make you a good musician. Of course, naturally, what you just said, that's one the point. Maybe, from the very childhood, they can understand because this boy or this girl has got some instinct or some sort of musical ability in him. So naturally when they pick up, maybe they taste like that. But once you are picked up, then you may not know that time, but by strong rules and discipline, they will make you something. And all the great musicians of India, they were all have been trained like this way. My teacher was also the same way, He used to tie his hair with the ceiling. And because whole night he used to practice. Before the moment you
What happens to learning other disciplines though, like reading or, if you're spending 14 hours a day practicing, do you learn anything else other than?
No. I said, even actually I'm telling, very recently some these musicians, mostly they are all uneducated because from the very childhood they only practiced music, nothing else. Even like great vocalists like Bade Ghulam Ali Khan, who has died maybe about 5-6 years back. Once he was asked, do you know who is the Prime Minister of India? He said, I don't know. Do you know what is atom bomb? No, I don't know. Actually, I'm not joking, because these people that, born and brought up in musical atmosphere and they know only music, nothing else.
Is there any other discipline that is treated with such tremendous respect?
Only particular these two things, philosophy and music.
Ah, that's interesting.
Philosophy and music, it's right from the very maybe 5,000 years old BC. From this time, this tradition is coming, right from, this Vedanta times. this music and philosophy, it is, you'll have to stay with your teacher and very hard practice.
According to the Indian philosophy, what is the connection between music and the philosophy? Why do certain notes make you feel romantic or make you feel such as that? And do they make every man feel that way, or must he know that he is supposed to feel this way? What is the connection?
It comes from realization. No? It's a very, like in the same way you asked, many people they ask me why we call it rainy season rag, why it is not, why morning rag, why we cannot play in the evening rag. It's all from realization. Music, that's the thing. You practice and practice and practice and pay practice, then some sort of realization comes. That this note expresses this sort of thing. It's hard to explain, like 1 plus 1 equal to 2. That's not the way. Then you will have to feel it. That's emotion, what it expresses. And if really it expresses, sometimes the note, even it happens to me, in Western music also. Once long back, I was in Poland, in Warsaw. Some ball dancing was there, whole night. Some musicians came from Russia and they were playing these waltz, Simple. La 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 la. When they were coming to this note, I was crying and I thought it's impossible for me to listen anymore. It was the same way it affects. Sometimes when this note comes exactly on dot, it has got the same effect on you. I think whether you understand, whether you don't.
But is there an explanation of why that has that effect? I mean, why the music does that?
Then it's a very difficult. Like why I like rose. It's very difficult to understand. Why I like this beauty of rose. It's very difficult to explain.
When you practice these ragas, do you practice a morning raga, morning time, evening raga, at the evening time, just to feel this connection, or not to mess up the what do you say, or the terms of playing?
No, never.
It's
the difference. What is the difference between the morning and evening? That is the morning and evening, the sun rises. It has been divided according to the Indian philosophy. Beginning means childhood, youth, end. So the morning prayer and evening prayer is different. Morning prayer after a nice sleep, you sit and you sit for meditation. You are very straight and strong. You sit, full energy is there. You are beginning the day, starting the day. So that vigor and energy is there. In the evening, after a whole day's work, or after, throughout your life, you just sometimes sit and think what I have done for my society, what for the humanity, what I have done in my life, what good and what bad. So evening prayer is different than the morning prayer.
yeah, but I mean, you don't mix this.
No, the feelings are there. That's the same thing. The realization. It comes from your realization. Like morning, sun rises from the east. Gradually it increases its energy. The morning notes are really also from, it's very energetic and very straight sometimes. Very freshness is there. In the evening, sun wants to take rest in the lap of infinite. So the notes also, as if they want to take rest in the lap of Sa. So it goes like this one. So these feelings, until you feel it in you, it's very difficult to express morning rag and evening rag. The same way we have to know. One is full of energy, one is actually end of energy. And even the late night rag, you will see, very with so much personality. You will see each note, so slow but so straight and so huge personality. It's completely different from the evening rag. Afternoon rag, as in India, so much strong sun, everyone wants to take some nap or rest, the mood is very, very calm and quiet, colorless. But in the seasonal rag like spring, you will see that joy so much, so happy mood in the rag development. This sort of, you'll have to feel, until as you feel it. Music and fine arts, there lies the difference between fine arts and other things, Fine arts, until as you feel it, some sort of connection with your heart, it is useless. Like, la 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 la, just combination of some notes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3. If you just do all sorts of function combination, that may not be a music. But music is that there should be some sort of connection with your own feelings and realization. Then it expresses with a bunch of notes. It expresses something which pleases human heart. It comes from realization. What is realization? That's very difficult to explain. Again, you have to start from saying philosophy.
Could you demonstrate exactly how many tones do you play on the instrument, since you play so many different tones on the instrument?
Yes, so many different tones.
So if I may request you, would you demonstrate exactly how many different tones you play this?
Tabla?
Yeah.
Yes, very different tone. Now about tabla, actually we have neglected it. I'm sorry. Tabla, just like the 7 notes, do re mi fa sol la si, it has got also the same type of syllable. It is, the name has been, according to sound production, there are many syllables like ta, dha, te, re, ka, kha, ghe, dhi, dhu, kete, dhete, thum, na. These are the syllables of drums. It has been, it can be played solo, 2.5 hours very easily. It has got many fixed compositions and then development gradually. It has got its own system also. That you cannot jump from one to other. No, you have to follow step by step. Like first piece is called the peshka, then second piece is called kaida, third piece is called gat, then lila, then tukra, then paran. You will have to. You cannot start from peshka to paran. No. Like I cannot start from one note to the 4th note straight. No, I'm not supposed to do that. I will have to develop the second note, then the 3rd note. Exactly, it has got its own system. It's another big subject. However,
He has different tone.
Yes.
Like right hand tone.
Like right hand
and
tones.
left hand tone, and both hand tone is different. Like right hand tone, ta. This is called ta, ta. This t. This is different. Te, te, thun, te te. And left hand also ghe, ghe, ke. And both hand, dha dha te te. Te te ka ta gadi ghe ne. Like this. Many compositions are played.
Now, play that, that dhamar, that's one
14 beats
14
tala.
beats tala, divided by 4 bars, 4 beats, 4 bars. 5 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. Like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. বলো কি বলতে পারছো?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ghe, te, 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 Dhamar, Tal.
So obviously, you know what you're doing exactly. My point is, I saw another tabla player and he did the same thing. And so if I can ask you another thing, could you demonstrate? You sing this phrase, it's like with all the syllables, te or something, and then so you can play exactly you just sang, right? Could you do it just that's my point. Because it's very difficult for us to sing it and play it. Right, just me sing.
একটা বোল আগে পড়ে তালে তাল দিয়ে আগে একটা বোল পড়ো একটু দেখে সেই বোলটা
Like this, if I play in 3 tal 16 beats, one composition to grab. This tala. I'm playing the same.
It's a very, it is called a very fast phrase called rela.
Rela, this it plays very top speed.
Makes me ask you, do you have to go through the same follow practice routine as the sitar player?
Yeah. Oh yes, all same. Vocalist, tabla, dance, sitar, sarod, anything.
So you're picked up from a master, what you call it, a musician.
Banerjee was telling me at the beginning that he started playing tabla when he was 3 years old. Is that right?
Yes.
I don't know at what point we should break off this questioning, but I suppose that our two artists had a very busy day yesterday, and so they were very tired today, so we didn't want to wear them out because we want to hear the concert tomorrow night, which will be in Frick Fine Arts Auditorium at 8 o'clock. And tickets are available in the music department office or the student union office or at the door. And I didn't get a chance to introduce them at the beginning, but the tuning was very informal and very informative for us. But we're very happy to have Nikhil Banerjee here and Nikhil Chatterjee. And it's a rare privilege to have such fine musicians here. Nikhil Banerjee has made many recordings, and those of us who have heard of his recordings are very much impressed with his playing and think of him as probably one of the greatest sitar players in the world today. And so we're really privileged to have him here. And so we're looking forward to their concert tomorrow night. And we want to thank them for this very informative and informal presentation this afternoon. Thank you very much.